Body bags were whore lies.
Now take my bitch. She won't complain about shit cause she's my hoe. She don't belong to a trick, so when you fuck her and give her all your cash, I get paid. I put my foot in her ass, I won't marry the bitch. And give her half, I get mohead. And then I laugh at that one bitch shit. I got a gang of hoes, I get freak ass lick these balls and toes.
Now stupid little bitches get tossed if they don't realize that I'm the motherfucking boss. Come on down and get your ass pinched. And if you talk shit, get your ass lynched. Cause I'm the B, the I, the T, the C, the H, the K, the I, the L, the L, the A, Sean B. A boy that's bigger than a nut. Cause a bitch is a bitch, is a hoe, is a slut.
You say, how can I call a woman a bitch? It ain't nothing but a word like shit. Ain't no slipping in my motherfucking pimpin'. And all bitches ain't women, yo. You come home and get smooth cussed out. You got a bitch with a foul ass mouth.
Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to week 94 here on Body Bags. I'm your host Moodz616, and thank you once again for stopping in on this Sunday, guys. Yeah, alrighty it is. Films that start with the letter L week, and I believe Laura picked this one because she could not think of a theme, so she just went with the first letter of her actual name. So it basically kind of turns into just a random theme in a way, so... But anyways, I decided to go with this one because, well, I actually hadn't seen the whole movie before. I attempted to watch this movie, I want to say a couple years back or whenever it was. I was really drunk, I'm not going to lie, and I think I passed out, so didn't really remember much from it. And it is from 2004, I believe this movie came out in, or 2006, I believe it came. 2006. Of course, it's from one of my favorite indie directors in Ryan Nicholson, and it is called Live Feed. This is the unrated cut, so this one actually has all the blood and gore intact in it. And yeah, so Live Feed. Basically, the synopsis of this film is you got 5 friends traveling through Asia, and yeah, they're just on vacation, traveling around, doing their thing. One night they're in a bar type club type deal. They get into a little bit of a commotion with some other cats and stuff. You know, things kind of go down. They get kicked out. Well, they don't really get kicked. Well, I think they do get kicked out. And basically they're all pissed off and they kind of stirred up the wrong pot, really. Anyways, they head, you know, down the street. They find this this porno theater. Anyways, they decide, you know, maybe go inside and kind of relax, chill out, watch some porno, do some drugs in there, and just have a good time, and they'll move on with their night. But what they don't know is that the guy that runs this theater is actually like a big Yakuza boss, and he's into watching, you know, he likes to, you know, torture and kill people and watch it on TV screens and stuff like that. So basically they're in for a fight of their life inside this theater, and that is the premise of your film. Now, my thoughts on this one. Now, I have to say, man, you know, this movie only runs about 80 minutes. The first 35-40 minutes of this film is pretty tedious to watch, I'm not gonna lie. The 5 characters in this film are not great actors, mixed in with a lot of really kind of bad dialogue and stuff. It's really tedious. It's not even character build-up, you know, or, you know, stuff like that. It's just a lot of kind of nonsense and just bad dialogue, and I don't know, man. It's really kind of tedious, but with a film like this and a premise like this, you know exactly what you're going to get in the second half of the film. You're going to get lots of blood and gore, and in classic Ryan Nicholson fashion, you're going to get, you know, that type of shit. So if you get past the first half of this film, the second half is actually definitely worth watching, because like I said, in the first half, the characters, you're almost laughing at the dialogue and the characters. The acting is just, it's really bad too. But, you know, with that said, no, it's very much like a Ryan Nicholson film. You know, it's a lot of handheld camera shots. It looks quite well. I did like the editing. One thing I really enjoy about this film, though, that kind of keeps the whole film together, you know, as a whole, is the soundtrack. And it's done by, what's his name, Patrick Cobble. He also did the soundtrack for Hanger and Gutterballs. He's really kind of like, you know, synth type music and stuff like that. I really like his scores that he does, so that's one thing that, you know, kind of keeps you going throughout the film and stuff. So getting into the second half of the film, you do have like kind of a subplot with a guy that meets up with these guys in Asia, or with these 5 friends. He just meets them that night, and he's got his own agenda too, which I won't spoil, but, you know, there's a subplot with this other guy. But, you know, to the second half of the film, you know, this one is very kind of reminiscent of Hostel. It lives in the vein of that one. You know, the premise is very similar. You know, vacationers that eventually get tortured and killed. So, you know, it's got that thing going on. The effects are quite good in this. I won't lie, man. I was like reading reviews and people are like, oh, the effects are just laughable, blah, blah, blah. I actually completely disagree with that. I think Ryan Nicholson is a really good effects artist, and it shows in this. Lots of kills, lots of blood, lots of gore. Lots of like inventive kills and stuff. There's one kill in here I just fucking absolutely loved. Pretty cool stuff. Of course, you got like this big executioner guy. You know, he's like, you know, he's the guy that you gotta battle. You know, kind of thing. You know, kind of cliched, I guess. You know, I mean, there's a lot of things about this movie that are cliche, but some of them are kind of cool, some of them are bad. But you know, overall, kind of enjoyable. I wouldn't recommend this to everybody, especially if you're not somebody that likes these torture type films. But if you're a big Ryan Nicholson fan, it's definitely worth checking out because, you know, it's, like I said, it's very Ryan Nicholson-ish, you know, with the camera shots and, you know, the kind of bad dialogue. You know, you got the gratuitous nudity in this, lots of blood and gore, so there's lots of pros to this. There's some cons, obviously, with the bad acting, bad dialogue. But, you know, soundtrack's great, like I said, and it's not a bad watch if you can get past the first half of the film. That's all I'm going to say. So the second half is definitely worth it. There's some pretty funny laugh out moments actually in the second half too. There's this one scene that's involving some kung fu and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, I actually was pissing myself on the couch watching this, but I will say though, this is probably my least favorite Ryan Nicholson film to date so far. You know, with Gutterballs, Hanger, you know, Bleeding Lady, Famine, Caller, you know, it's just done such a lot of good films. Torched. This one right here, it's, you know, it's a little different for him, but it wasn't my favorite, but I will give this one still a pass at 5 out of 10 because the second half was that enjoyable to watch. Even though it may be a little cheesy at times, the blood and gore was good enough for me to make it a pass. Live feed, definitely check it out if you're a huge Ryan Nicholson fan. If you're not really into Ryan Nicholson films or really gory type kind of mindless ridiculousness, I would stay far away from this one, but I do recommend if you like these type of films. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for week 94 here on Body Bags. Check you next week in week 95. Peace out.